Hey everybody, I'm Josh and welcome to another episode of Just Sayin. Thank you. On the show today, we are wrapping up our Dating 101 with a way that I didn't think I was going to do the show. And I'll get into that here in more than just a second. But first, let's answer the question, what is Josh drinking? And on the show today, why would I ruin my streak? I've got Mountain Dew. Refreshing. Now, I'm going to get into the review of my Mountain Dew, hard Mountain Dew here in just a minute, but I have bad news about it. I've already broken my challenge. But first, let's go on and get into the host chat. This week, I was going to do separation, but the more I sat looking at a blank computer screen, the more I realized I didn't want to talk about that. I'm not ready to talk about that. Even if I had talked about divorce or breakups, I just don't want to talk about that. So, I was thinking to myself, what do you do when you're in a class, and it's the last week of class? You review. You go over the stuff you've already learned. So that's what we're going to do today. Each segment is going to review a week from this month, but with different pictures. You're not going to see the same thing, don't worry. So, let's go ahead and get the host chat started. I'm going to start something new. Before I forget, next week be sure to watch because it's one of two throwback editions. That's right. It's going to be our first of two throwbacks next week, so be sure to watch for that. Okay, so on to the new thing. In my host chat, I sit and I tell you what's going on in my life or what news I've heard and blah, 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 blah. So I thought I would start this new thing, and since I'm filming the show week to week and posting it that week, and I've got current events in it, I thought I would just start a thing where it's called This Week. And it could be stuff in my life, it could be stuff that I've heard. Now, my life this week was pretty simple because I was sick. Turns out I have vertigo. So I was really dizzy. And the dizziness made me nauseous. I thought I had the flu, like just the stomach flu. But it was weird because I'd come sit at my desk and I'd feel fine. I'd lay down in bed, I'd feel fine. I'd get up, I'd start getting dizzy, and then the nausea would start. And so I went to work Thursday, probably shouldn't have, but did. But anyway, yeah. So nothing was going on with me. So I thought, let's take a look at the world around us and talk about some things that happened this week in the news. And so that's what we're going to do. First off, is anybody else interested in this whole Murdoch trial thing? If you've never heard of the Murdoch family, you live under a rock. Robert Murdoch is the father of this guy. This is Alex Murdoch. He stands accused of allegedly killing his wife and 22-year-old son. This family, he admitted in court, he testified this week, this week, and admitted in court that he got a police badge from someone in his family, and even though they were never in the police, they were never on the police department, he was never on the police department, he got a badge somehow. He put the badge either on his dashboard or in his cup holder so that if he ever got pulled over, and he admitted that he would get preferential treatment. That's just how creepy this guy was. Next, sorry, I grabbed the wrong note cards. Next, he admits in court that he lied about not being at the scene of the crime at some point that day. Said he was never there. Turns out he was there. They proved it. So he lied to the police. Stole millions from his friends, family, and defrauded many of his clients to support his drug habit. Totally destroying his own dynasty. His own family dynasty. I mean, his great-great-grandfather started the law firm that he now used to run. He stated, and I quote, and I think this is what's going to get him. I mean, seriously, if you're watching this thing, you know he's guiltier than OJ. But the thing he said in court that really kind of perked my ears and made me think, you know what, I think this guy would do it. Because if you stand accused of killing your family, your wife and your child, you're going to say something to the effect of, I would never think of hurting them. Right? I would never hurt anyone in my family. He said, and I quote, I would never have intentionally hurt anyone. So here's my thought. You were stoned on something because you have a drug habit and killed your wife and child and just don't remember it. Or just trying to cover it up now. You're crazy. This is also a family who one of their sons was involved in a boat accident where a 19-year-old female was killed. And while her body, and there were a bunch of them, all of them on the boat were taken to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. This girl was missing. They finally found her body. But while everybody was in the hospital, the family got to the hospital to see the son. They were not concerned about the missing girl. They were not concerned about the kid. They were only concerned about how it would look for their family and what they can do to prove that even though their child was drunk and driving a boat, drunk, how can they get him off? And I think they did. I think they ended up blaming somebody else on the boat. Or her boyfriend or something. I don't know. But anyway, this guy's guilty. Plain and simple. Here's what else happened this week. Not just Sam Smith is in trouble with the FCC, but Rihanna from the Super Bowl. Apparently, hundreds of complaints were called into the FCC about her twerking. They said that twerking should be the same as the F word. I'm sorry, but what else are you going to expect a pregnant woman to do? Stand there and tap dance and fling from one trapeze to the other? No. She's pregnant. And in my opinion, I understand. There could be two types of twerking. There's the clean twerking, and there's the, okay, you're horny, you need some booty, whatever, get a room, twerking. I'm the type that, like, not that I've ever complained to the FCC, but I'm not afraid to tell you when I'm offended by something. And this was just a horrible halftime show to begin with. But I don't think, twerked or did anything. People are just looking for reasons to bitch. Let's be real here. I mean, I don't think that it rose to a level of calling the FCC. Hundreds of complaints. More complaints than Sam Smith got for his satanic, quote-unquote satanic performance at the Brit Awards or the Grammys. One of the two. I can't remember. But one of the two. More complaints than Sam Smith. Get a life, people. And finally this week, I want to kind of end on a serious note, and then we'll get into some fun. Some real fun, because I get to embarrass myself here in a minute. Producer man's making me do it. This week marks 1 year of the war in Ukraine, when President Putin, I don't know, is he president? Is he czar, dictator, dick? I mean, what is he? When Putin invaded Ukraine and started a war with Ukraine, and yeah, it's 1 year from that, and Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, has stated that it was what he considers, this whole year is what he considers to be Ukraine's longest day. And totally makes sense. Thousands have been killed. 8 million plus have fled Ukraine and are refugees in other countries. Biden, our president, stated that we will do anything that we can do to make sure that Ukraine succeeds in this war. Zelensky said that it was a, quote, a year of pain, sorrow, faith, and unity, and promised that, and this is what really kind of choked me up a little bit, every tomorrow is worth fighting for. Isn't that a great quote? So he said every tomorrow is worth fighting for, and pledged that 2023 will be the push for victory for Ukraine. And let me tell you, all over the world, not just the country, but all over the world, in Eastern Europe, Australia, I believe I heard in Antarctica, and even here in the U.S., there were anti-Putin protests throughout the world, as I said, and everybody showing their support for Ukraine. So that's that. And that is what happened this week. And now I get to humiliate myself. So here's the deal about my review this week. So I promised you a review. I haven't done one in a while. And I was fully intending on doing the Hard Mountain Dew. Unfortunately, the gas station here in town finally started selling them, and they ran out. I went to get some before I started filming the show, and there was none there. So I have another item to review, though, and while I was sick over this past week, I used it. It was the first time I'd used it. It was a Christmas present from my sister. Now, there's a backstory to this present. It wasn't like an inside joke or anything like that. But my sister knows that I get really bad migraines. Everybody knows that. And like I said previously, they make my eye droop and all that stuff. Well, she found this thing online that her friend told her about, because her friend also suffers from chronic headaches. And there's never anything worse than a headache, and you try everything you can do, and nothing is helping it. Ibuprofen, Tylenol, Excedrin, sometimes even narcotic, like an opioid or I've done everything to try and get rid of these headaches. And so my sister's friend told her about these things. They're called, it's a migraine gel pack. And my sister got it for me for Christmas, Betty Sue. And basically it's this ridiculous looking hat. And you put it on, and so I'm going to give a review, even though it may or may not be updated later on. Because I was using it and it worked when I had it on. Like I would put it on, my headache would go away after a few minutes, and I would be fine. And I'm like, oh, okay, my headache's gone. I take it off, a few minutes later, it'd come back. So I started feeling better Friday. I was like, you know what? I'm going to review this on the show, whatnot. Decided to read the instructions. And you're either supposed to heat in the microwave or freeze this before using it. And then you put it on. So maybe because I didn't freeze it or heat it prior to, that it didn't long-term help. But producer man is making me put it on to demonstrate how it looks, because it's ridiculous. And so I haven't figured this thing out yet. There's little pouches, like if you think of an ice pack, those kind of pouches in here. And then there's some material here that I haven't quite figured out, because it's not got them in there, but it's got like a little twisty tie. So I don't know if you're supposed to put it around your neck or put it above your head. I don't know. Put it on the side of your face. I don't know what that's for. But regardless, I didn't use it. So maybe that's why I look even more ridiculous for it in it. And then there's this little curve thing that I think goes where your nose is. But I didn't put it below my eyes, or to block my eyes. But anyway, get ready to laugh. But anyway, you put this thing on, and what I did was, I covered my ears, but I put that little gel pack thingy right over my temples, and it really helped. See, what is this thing for? Is that just I don't get it. Why did I just do that? To keep it on so that it wouldn't fall through? I mean, really? I told you I look ridiculous in this thing. But anyway, so you put the pouches right above Yeah. And I even... I have to put my glasses on for this part. I even brought out, because I knew during rehearsal that was going to mess up my hair. So I even brought out my comb. I was going to wait till the intro, but it's going to be a minute for the intro, and my hair looks ridiculous. So that is it. Actually, like I said, it worked. It worked. I give props, but my dog didn't like it. She went nuts when I put it on, but I'm like, I will deal with her whining if this works. And it did, so she slept in her cage that night. Anyway, so in my review, which I never brought up, right there, I decided I would give it 4 out of 5 emojis, mainly because I don't think that I used it right. It would have gotten 5 out of 5 if my headache would have stayed away, but like I said, I don't think I used it right. So that may be updated later on, but as for now, it gets 4 out of 5 mind-blowing emojis. And here's another thing. So I'm reading the instructions the other day, right? And I may have to get up and show this to the camera closer. So over here, if you can see on the side of the box, it's got countries that the instruction manual is written in, and their flag, right? And keep in mind, this was made in China. And all of those flags are the right flags for that country. Then over here, I'm going to stand up for this. Over here, it says that it's good for the U.S. with the Switzerland flag. Don't know why, but yeah. So apparently we switched flags with Switzerland, according to China. Maybe that's why they hate us so much, is they think that we're Switzerland. And I don't know, but anyway, I just found that interesting. Wrong flag for the wrong country. Anyway, so let's go ahead and continue on with the show and start our review of Dating 101 in the past month that we've had. So without further ado, it's time to look at some more horrid dating profiles in this week's edition of The Marketplace. So this week we're taking a look, just like we did at the first week of the month, at some horrible dating profiles. And we're not making fun of any pictures in this segment. It's strictly just what's written in their profile. So here we go. Here's the first one. Married with a baby on the way. Prefer the term collector to hoarder. Bonus points if you can look after my gerbil collection. Keep in mind, this is where you sell yourself. This is where you sell yourself to, well, not literally, but this is what you use to pique people's attention. No, pique people's interests. Did I use that word right? I'm not sure if I used that right. Word of the week, piqued. Did I use that right? I think I did. Anyway, here's the next one. This is Kiana, 22 years old. On the topic of nude photos, I'd like to remind you of a little story. In 1912, a girl had a nude photo drawn in a sketchbook by a random dude that no one's ever heard of. The drawing gets locked in a safe on a boat. The boat sinks, and the nude picture still ends up on TV 84 years later. So not only will I be sending nudes, no one is safe. True that. Because everything that happened in that movie was real. Spoiler alert, the ship sinks. Here's the next one. San Diego State University. Pro, can fall asleep wherever. Con, will fall asleep wherever. Pro, I have a decent credit score. Con, I'm almost always broke. Hey, at least it's letting those people know out there, if they're out there for the money, hey, I don't got any. But we can buy a house together. Here's the next one. Pro, not afraid of spiders. Con, afraid of moths. Pro, can cook. Con, will try to get you to do the dishes. Pro, can probably outdrink you. Con, will probably actually can't, but will try anyway. Pro, really cuddly. Con, lacks personal space when he sleeps. Pro, loves animals. Con, I may try to steal yours. Pro, I have a good sense of humor. Con, there's none because I'm funny. When did this pro-con... Like, you're not supposed to list any cons in your profile. That's why you test them throughout the relationship, finding out new things, and then if you've passed the test, you get the engagement ring. And then after the wedding, that's when you find everything out. Because it's done. Here's the next one. Pros. This is for Melissa. Pro, she's open to sharing her Netflix account, can tie a cherry stalk into a knot with her tongue, can eat 30 chicken nuggets in one sitting. Con, uses sarcasm as a defense mechanism, nocturnal, and finally will eat 30 chicken nuggets in one sitting. Hey, those that say pros can't be cons, that's not true. Here's the next one. My mom thinks I'm pretty cool. I'm sure you will too. I can juggle and backflip. Literally, what else do you need? You not to mention your mother in your dating profile. Just a thought. Who knows? Here's the next one. Women don't like nice guys, and I am too nice for my own good. I'm not going to go through 300 hours of therapy for 20 minutes of blank. Not looking to settle or marry. I just want to live and see where it takes me for now. That's great information to put on a dating profile. That you're not looking to date anyone. There's hookup apps, people. It's the 21st century, right? Yeah. Here's the next one. Disclaimer. I may be like most people and have a normal life, but I unfortunately have been through a lot emotionally for several years, which has made me almost always feel sad, extremely lonely, and heartbroken. I've been rejected and or friend zoned for over 9 years, but don't let this discourage you from chatting with me and or dating me. I'm probably one of the nicest guys you will ever meet. I am very kind, friendly, caring, understanding, compassionate, honest, etc. Wish I could say more. I wish you would have said less. I mean... And finally, it's 27-year-old Sophia, what's she have here? I have many mental illnesses, including and or limited to bipolar depression, ADD, and an eating disorder. I also don't like my dad. Also, I'm bisexual, but that's not a mental disorder. I have many neuroses and residual traumas that may make developing relationships a huge challenge, but I like to have fun with it. So, while you're having fun with your craziness, you're making us deal with the crazy. Yeah. But like I said, once you get out of the dating phase comes the engagement phase. And this is when you learn what your names will sound like together in this week's edition of What's Wrong Here? Alright, here we go. Real names, real announcements, real people. Did not alter them at all. Here we go. First up is the Wide Hole wedding. Or how about the Beaver Wetter wedding? Not only is it a weird name to say, Beaver Wetter, but try saying Beaver Wetter wedding. Here's the next one. It's the Poor Sap wedding. Or how about the Shave Her Nicely? Or how about the Hardy Har wedding? Too bad he wasn't marrying one of her sisters also, because then it'd be the Hardy Har Har. It was funnier in my head. Here we go. Here's the next one. It's the Butts McCracken wedding. Or the Go and Get Her wedding. Some of these are priceless. Like this one, it's the Sharp Pain wedding. Well then, never mind. It's the Looney Ward wedding. And finally, how about the Watermaker Pop wedding? Glad they didn't misspell the last name, the second last name there. Watermaker Poop. Anyway. You know, one thing that's become a real trend with families is the then and now pictures. And that's when you take a picture that you family took many years ago and you try to recreate the picture wearing the same clothes in the same setting, holding the same things. I mean, you try to do what you can do to recreate that moment. And so here's some funny ones in this week's edition of Funny Family Photos.
Drop it.
Now, it looks cute as when you were kids, but not so cute as adults. Just saying. Here's the next one. I find it hilarious. The kid in the dragon costume on the left as an adult. But the middle guy almost nailed it. Here's the next one. I'm thinking this girl's trying to poop. I don't know. Here's the next one. This one kind of almost nailed it. I mean, I get that it's hard to recreate something exactly, but they almost nailed it compared to the rest of these. Here's the next one. I would like to know where they got the same box from so long ago. Isn't that hilarious? And I like the tattoos on that one dude. Anyway, here's the next one. I love the fact that they're wearing the same, obviously not the same clothes, but I love the fact that they're wearing clothes from that time. Like, you would be able to find that outfit today. You know. Here's the next one. The guy's shirt's not even the same. I mean, seriously. Ultimate fail on that one. Here's the next one. This kid had fun. The kid with the ice cream cone had fun both times. The poor kid with the Disney hat on didn't get any ice cream cone. He got the Disney hat instead. This poor mom. And finally, oops, let me bring me back up. Hold on. Stop. There we go. And finally, what did I just do? Oh, I moved him. There we go. And finally, when is T-Rex arms not funny? So, yeah. Anyway, well, that will do it. And that will close out our Dating 101 week. I hope that I, the professor who's not dated in a long, long, long time, helped you to find your next romantic date. And please keep me posted on how it goes. What not to put in your profiles. Make sure you know how your name's going to sound in your engagement photos, and have kids that are sane. Is more or less what I've taught you this month. Anyway, so next week, don't forget, throwback. It's going to be a good show. If you think there's something funny I should see and share on the show, be sure to send it to me. Or if you just have a random question to ask, because viewer mail is coming up soon. So be sure to send in your emails. There's the email address, my TikTok. And right after I post this, I am posting... Well, no, I take that back. It'll be tomorrow. I'm posting the Taser versus video. So be sure to follow me on TikTok as well as Twitter. I really don't pay attention to Twitter anymore except for promoting my show when I post it. Also, if you have a second, please like, subscribe, get the comment below, and get the notifications anytime I post one of my episodes. So without further ado, that will do it. Be sure to join me next week where we look back at my generation. It's going to be a great show. But until then, everybody, please stay healthy, stay safe, stop the hate. But until next week, that's all I'm saying.